Get a load of this asshole that you guys insist is the great creature worth worshiping. A podcast that no longer feels an obligation to think purely of peace. So take that as a warning, the Biffler. My name is Bob, sitting across the way from my good friend and co-host. That's Abe. How you doing tonight, Abe?
Doing well, Bob.
Yeah, here we are. Lori's here too. How you doing tonight, Lori?
Not great, but whatever.
Lori's not great, but whatever. Tonight is Wednesday, January 21st. 2026. Here on a Wednesday, having fully recovered from multiple days of late nights, enjoying the football.
I'm not fully recovered.
Well, no, Lori's not feeling great. I am fully recovered, and we'll go fast tonight. That's the plan. Fast show.
I don't give a fuck. I'm going to bed.
Not a lot to talk about. Maybe we'll do a billboard show. We're going to go so fast that we'll have time to do a billboard show tonight. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good weekend? Here we are, halfway through the week already.
I did have a good weekend. Lots of sports, a lot of football into Monday. I also, separate from sports, I went to a stand-up show on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
This is at, we have a, what do they call it? Laugh Factory or something. Some chuckle hut place here in Atlanta.
What I would call my stand-up club. Everybody probably knows. Careful listeners of the show, I'd call it the chuckle fuckery.
The chuckle.
I don't think you'd get. You're not allowed.
It would have to be named something slightly different than that, but like all the people in the know would call it that. But like
Fuckle chuckery.
Fuckle chuckery is not much better.
Anyways, I remember back in the day, it would be a very unifying joke to make fun of Florida. Just in any sort of premise, so this is the similar setup. They have an opening act, a middle act, and then the headliner. And the first two acts, they're not from Georgia. None of them are from Georgia. I think one of them was from the Midwest. And he gets into a bit about, like, Florida, am I right? Like, that's the joke. Something about, like, Florida doing some Florida thing, right? But this was like a mixed crowd, like leaning a little to the right. And they did not take to the joke. And I was
so we can't make fun of Florida anymore because of tribalism, because Metro Atlanta comedy club goers have an identity affinity with Florida now, is what you're saying?
For some reason, yes. It's very bizarre. I remember a time, and I haven't heard the Ace Man Carolla's radio podcast in a while, but for many, many years, he would have a Germany or Florida thing. Like, because his theory was like anything weird is going to be coming out of Florida, or if it's a foreign thing coming out of Germany. I suspect he probably doesn't do that anymore. But I don't know whatever happened to Florida being the butt of a joke. What's wrong with that? It was a very safe shit on Florida.
Sounds like you're workshopping some stand-up material. No. Here.
No stand-up.
Was the show any good?
It was fun. I mean, the headliner came in like, he's like, he basically just said like the other comics were shitting on this crowd. Basically, this is a shit crowd, and they kind of got a laugh out of it. They kind of admitted, and they loosened up when the headliner showed up. But
who's the headliner?
This comedian Greg Fitzsimmons. I've seen this guy probably half a dozen times.
Name rings a bell.
He's like from the Howard Stern world and other places.
Oh yeah, I googled his face up. There he is. I know that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. But it was a good show for the most part. Just a very weird, like, observing people kind of thing. I was like, I guess Florida's off the table.
I'll bet he's a podcaster.
Oh, yeah.
They're all podcasters. We're all podcasters now. There's a Podcasters Hall of Fame, Abe, and I was trying to, as I was doing my pre-show routine, which is to stare at shit until I come up with something silly to say, I was trying to work out a way to object to our lack of admission into the Podcasters Hall of Fame here in 2026.
No one's heard your
Forget
podcast.
the Hall of Fame. Can't even get a nomination. Didn't Amy Poehler win some award? They're giving it to actors instead of actual podcast people.
Yeah, there's podcasters at the Golden Globes now, and they just gave it to Amy Poehler.
Yeah, Good Hang or whatever it is. I don't know.
I think Ben Shapiro showed up thinking like, maybe I've got a chance. They're not going to give it to you, Ben. Would that end every single, could you end accusations of anti-Semitism for a generation by giving Ben Shapiro the Golden Globe for podcasting?
That would be hilarious.
I think you could.
Yeah. Although you can achieve similar aims by giving it to a Mark Maron who retired his podcast. And
No. Not Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is much more Jewy.
More Jewish than Mark Maron.
All the relevant ways. Although, if Hollywood gives an annoying Jew
There's plenty of Jews getting awards in Hollywood
for his Jewishness, it'd be here we are.
Yeah.
More of the same. It would only give rise to more anti-Semitism, probably.
That's right. I take it Amy Poehler is not Jewish.
I have no idea. She probably is, right?
No,
Is Tina Fey Jewish?
maybe.
Is Amy Poehler, all right, married, dating anyone, single,
Wow.
in a relationship, a natural blonde,
No.
still on SNL, doing Subway commercials?
She was doing Subway commercials?
Google, you know what I really want to know. Don't pretend is Amy Poehler Jewish? Such a crazy answer. All right, no, Amy Poehler is not Jewish. She was raised
Just asked your wife.
in the Catholic faith. All right, good talk. Dan Carlin has been inducted and will make the 2026 Podcasting Hall of Fame list, apparently.
Is the Podcast Hall of Fame associated with the Radio Hall of Fame? Why is there a standalone Hall of Fame for podcasts?
So that we can actually get in, I think, is the answer.
That'll be the day.
I've never heard of any of these people except for Dan Carlin going back 2 or 3 years now. Oh, the Ace Man got in 2024.
Look at that. I'm sure Joe Rogan is a shoo-in.
Mark Maron, 2023. Or no, 2022. It looks like they didn't have a ceremony in 2023.
No.
All right. What do you want to talk about here?
I guess we're doing both, right? This is one.
Yeah, I would do the news, and then we'll do some balls here in a little bit. Trump is in Davos, and we're not going to have the military taking over Greenland, seems to be the short of it, right?
Yes. It seems to, he was doing his aimless kind of speaking style, and he landed on not going to invade Greenland. He still wants it. He occasionally called it Iceland. And just a very bizarre kind of performance. The Canadian Prime Minister, I don't know if you watched his speech.
I read about it, yeah.
It was
Mark
pretty,
Carney?
it was pretty good. Kind of explaining, I never heard of this term, just introducing new terminology. Maybe you've heard it. Middle powers. He classifies countries such as Canada. You have the great powers like America and China, and because of the arsenal of nuclear weapons, Russia. And then you have these other nations, and he called it the middle powers. And he was making the argument of we have to do things. We can't just take this on the chin. We got to come up with a new strategy. It was well received. And then Trump gave his meandering speech about taking the threat of use of force off the table, but he still wants it. And I guess the tariffs are now off the table also. It just seems to me once again, making a threat, someone could, in theory, I'm not accusing anyone, someone could, in theory, exploit this for financial gain by, market manipulation. Because, the stock market kind of moves on his word. And there was some volatility to where he was going to do something. He was going to do this tariff imposition on Europe or the countries that sent troops to Greenland. And then I was reading this report about this. Have you heard this? The trade bazooka? This never used before bazooka. I mean, you have a bazooka in your arsenal and you're not using it. You got to use it. But it seems like all of that is just talk and nothing is going to come to fruition, at least for right now. So things are back to normal for now.
I guess, like, I guess you're sort of hinting at this idea that, Trump causes a great deal of instability and then causes more instability, and then eventually that you're going to get sort of the release, right? That presumably he's not going to ratchet this up to the point where there's actually troops on the ground in an aggressive forward position in Greenland, and that therefore, like, because there are Trump whisperers and Trump knowers who are like, "Oh, you idiots, you've fallen for it again," right? He wrote this in his book, the Bible, The Art of the Deal, way back in the 80s. Like, this is a long-standing situation where he's going to say the outrageous thing, and then he's going to say the outrageous thing yet again, and then he will say the outrageous thing a third time.
Right.
And then right when you think the very last possible moment, you'll say, how about just some of the first thing instead of the fifth and sixth crazy fucking thing I said, and then everything calms down. So I guess what you're saying is, like, there's this 2% drop in the Dow as it looks like everybody's freaking out over Trump trying to get Greenland, and then he's like, I don't really, I was just kidding, and then the stock market surges in response.
Right. But the problem is that you can only do that so many times. Already, other countries, including Canada, are making alternative plans. The Prime Minister for Canada was talking about the deal he made with China. There are a lot of things that in the past, you would, like, being a friendly and close ally, you would not do certain things out of deference of that relationship, and that seems to be no longer the case. And so if you keep making these threats that you're going to stand down on a few moves down the road, and other countries continue to move away or make other arrangements, other deals, then where does that leave you? Eventually there's going to be so many deals made when you're not part of it that your threats no longer have any weight, because you can't threaten someone's economic well-being because they have the resilience to withstand it in the future.
Right. And NATO is good. I know, like, a lame thing to say, I guess. But, like, the post-World War II global peace, relatively speaking, was good. Europeans not doing what Putin has done for the last decade, for the 70 years before that. Good.
Yeah.
It made for a nice, stable, relatively peaceful couple of continents there. As much trouble as we've had, certainly, in various spots throughout the world, must be said, relatively good in terms of global stability since the end of World War II. And I don't want to make everything about sports, but I've been listening to some podcasts with Chuck Klosterman this last week or so.
Which
because
ones?
He is making the rounds selling his new book called Football.
He's great.
Yeah, sure. I like Chuck.
I would read his book.
Yeah,
I don't know though.
I'm going to get the book because I think that the boy would also like to read the book. He's the
I
right
like him.
age for a Chuck Klosterman book about football. Anyway, listening to a bunch of podcasts in which Chuck Klosterman is yapping about football, and he's making similar points to ones that I've complained about as regards college football, which is some very serious changes are being made to the structure of the sport in ways that seem on their face logical and good, right? Especially in terms of, like, well, players should be compensated. Not, it shouldn't just be some overarching, stupid, monolithic, nameless, faceless group of bureaucrats who are enriching themselves, like the various conference commissioners and even further down the line the schools. But like that, why should the NCAA make money and the kids should not? So, like, oh, hey, we'll do NIL. That'll be good for the kids. And why should the coaches be permitted to change schools on a whim and at a moment's notice, and then the kids are stuck in their situation and can't get out of it without paying some unfortunate prices? So we'll make transferring that much easier. And then it's like, and from the conference's perspective, it's like, well, why shouldn't we change our television rights deals as often as possible and therefore rearrange our conference alignments and try to build a better television product so we can get more money so that we can pay for all of this shit? right? And then you're in a situation where it's like, well, the Pac-10 has 2 schools and Rutgers plays UCLA in a Big Ten game. And it's like, wait, what the fuck are we doing here now, right? Like, who actually asked for this? And even though your average Saturday is still a pretty good time, he's just like, oh, well, I mean, Oregon's playing Michigan. That fucking rips ass. Let's see some more of that. And Texas is going to play Georgia this week. That's a whole hell of a lot of fun. But at the same time, you are changing the fundaments, the underlying fundamental structure of a thing that became the single most popular cultural product in America, right? Like by leaps and bounds now.
Well, the NFL is more popular.
Right, but football
in
writ
general,
large
yeah.
is the the thing about the 93 of the top 100 television programs for the last few years are always football games, whether professional or college, slightly less so. But this thing that has made them just billions upon billions of dollars and made these brands, these schools and these franchises into the most powerful brands imaginable, basically. We are at the same time changing something fundamental to that thing that was popular. You don't know exactly what it is that you're doing to undermine the product long term, even as you make every move in the short term that seems to make the most sense from a business perspective, right? And so who knows if college football is going to matter to my kid 25 or 30 years from now. He's a huge fan now, but like the way that he loves it, will it still be the same product 30 years from now as they keep making this death by 1,000 cuts to it? Even in the moment that it seems to be still perfectly healthy, right? You don't know what you're doing to hollow it out, basically. And that's a very extended sidebar analog for what's going on here with international relations with the United States. When Trump goes and says, I'm going to take over Greenland because you didn't give me a Nobel Peace Prize, and like the incoherence of that series of statements, right? Like, I mean, you have to sort of set aside the plain insanity of Trump saying that to the leader of a country that doesn't control Greenland and doesn't control the awarding of the Nobel Prize. Yeah. It would sort of be like somebody saying to Donald Trump, because you didn't give the Oscar to Avatar, Fire and Ash, we're not going to make movies in Hollywood anymore. It's like, well, Donald Trump doesn't control the Oscars, you fucking idiot. Like, and James Cameron he didn't make that movie in Hollywood anyway. So what are you talking about? You're doing damage to when you allow for Canada to be like, we can't. We had tied ourselves to the United States in ways that we thought were good, right? We were going to ride the United States rising boat to great wealth for Canada. Like, I think something like, I forget, I saw something this week about like how 75% of Canada's economy basically revolves around the United States in some form or fashion. Right. I don't know how true that is, but that's a number that's...
90% of the population is within 10 miles of the border or something.
Right. And so taking away the service sector of where like Canadians servicing one another or whatever it is that they do up there, I don't know, they're fucking weirdos. But like they're inextricably tied to the fortunes of the United States and like willingly so. The whole idea of NAFTA and the whole idea of free trade is, it's good for me, it's good for you, and everybody, rising tide lifts all boats, et cetera, et cetera. And now he's going before the World Economic Forum and saying things like, look, we simply cannot rely on the United States any longer. Right. And that should be terrifying to the United States, and not strictly from an economic perspective, although that is a huge thing as well. Right, like the economics here matter a great deal, but also like we should be concerned about the fact that the goodwill that has tied together Western civilization for the last 70 or 80 years is at risk of coming apart because we have elected the insane clown president.
To be fair, for a second time, I think most of the world gave the U.S. a mulligan the first go around, and now it's like, well, this can happen again. in the future. So like, like a lot of these trade deals are going to outlast Trump, right? So like, even if things get back to normal in the 2030s, like it's hard to go back to the way it was in the past, because like these deals take a while to unfold, and you have many years long deals. So like I think the ship has sailed on that at this point. Like I think a lot of countries are moving away. Obviously there's going to be interaction between the countries, but it's like you can't overly rely, and you can't assume as true that the U.S. is like a rational actor. Like that used to be taken for granted for a long time, and now you can't say that, and there's a cost to that. Also, I should note that going back to this goofy Nobel Prize thing, I caught a clip of Trump saying, because they were telling him like there's a committee, like it's not like the government is making decisions on who wins and who loses, and he's like, oh, I don't care about that. This has nothing to do with that. But then he circles back to say like, well, clearly they have influence. Like he's suggesting that the government could throw their weight around and make it so to where he.
I don't even care about it.
Yeah, like
I don't even care about the Nobel. The Nobel Prize is not the point.
Yes.
Right? I don't care. He said in this message to Norway's prime minister,
I've read it so many times.
considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus,
All caps.
I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland. And I said I screenshotted a headline of this and sent it. And I think that we are the proverbial frogs here. Like, it's an insane thing for the president of the United States to say in every possible way. And I'm like, it's hard to imagine, and I know it's such a silly thing to do, but like go back to 2013 and try to imagine you go into the future and you tell someone this and you expect them to take you seriously, right? Or you go into the past rather and you're like, look, this is what's going to happen in 10 or 15 years. And there's been more talk this week, and maybe it's just the things that I'm seeing, but there's been more of the we should 25th Amendment this guy. It's time to go, right? I guess all of this stuff is impeachable. And I think that that's obviously the case. Like, he's not fit for the presidency. And it's part of what makes the Trump whisperer phenomenon particularly infuriating to me, which is, like, he said to the New York Times, I think it was, in that big interview from a couple of weeks ago, Greenland is important to me psychologically, right?
Yes.
Like, that was, he just came out and said, Greenland it's important that I get Greenland for the United States because of my own psychology. Right? Like, that's what he said out loud. And then I have to read 3,000 words about why, because of the minerals and because of the rare earths and because of the Golden Dome, like, we want to build, like Israel's got their Iron Dome, and of course we want to build the Golden Dome here because we're worried that Russia is going to send ICBMs over the Arctic Circle or what have you, and that Greenland plays an important role. And you look at the infographics, and it's like, look, if we could just have bases on Greenland, we'd be very well positioned to knock down all of the missiles because the apogee of the fucking rocket goes right over Greenland. And then, because that's when it's moving its slowest, and then we can shoot the fucking missile up there and you knock it out of the sky. It's like, wait, what? Why the fuck are we talking about this? He said last week it's important for him psychologically. Right? Like,
so we do have military bases on Greenland.
Right. And everything that you've just said, we just have to go to Denmark and be like, hey, just so you know, we're throwing another 350 Marines into this base there, and we're going to spend a bunch of money on Greenland. And Denmark would be like, all right, cool. Because that's the arrangement that we've had with them for the last 70 fucking years. Right. And so, like, this idea that was it last week? I don't think it was last week. I'm just screaming at the TV this weekend when everybody's talking about Greenland, and it's like they're saying that it's important for United States national security that we have Greenland because at some point Russia or China might try to attack the United States, either by taking, or maybe not even attacking the United States, but they might try to take over Greenland from Denmark because of all of the rare earth minerals that are under the ice there. And it's like, all right, so we have this thing. It's called the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is NATO for short. And if one of our friends who's in this NATO thing gets attacked by some other asshole, the entire treaty organization shows up and is like, no, we're going to fucking war. Fuck you. You can't do that. And it is maintained a rather stunning peace. It is forced Russia to curb their own ambitions, imperial ambitions, over the course of the last 50 or 60 years in all likelihood. Like, just having this group of allies who has each other's backs prevents exactly the thing that you're talking about. So why does it matter that we put the U.S. flag there? Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And you know, it's a fool's errand to try to psychoanalyze Trump, so I'll give it a go. I wonder if all of these moves, you know, like second terms are usually like legacy building. You know, this is an unconventional second term. You know, there's a gap in between. And I do wonder if Trump, like with these, he's almost like trying to impose himself into the history books, you know, with the East Wing. Like, they can't, you know, fuck the courts. I'm going to change the image of the White House so that in future years they can't deny me. Like, anytime they do some sort of event in a ballroom, that's my shit. Because I think he suspects that he's going to be treated unkindly in the history books. But if he's got a East Wing, yeah, why? But like, if he has an East Wing remodeled in his image, then he'll have that. You can't take that away from him. Acquisition of land is going to be another thing that can be undone. You know, so I wonder if these psychologically...
He wants to do that big fuck off arch somewhere down there, and like a new Washington arch on the mall.
Yeah, basically he's like trying to do something, anything, to where he is undeniably a part of America going forward, instead of like, oh, remember that the Trump year? Ugh, like, what the fuck were we thinking, right? Like, he's worried that it's going to be that, and so like he's doing these weird things. Because you're right. I mean, whatever national security arguments that you have, there's already an infrastructure in place to accomplish what you want, right? And also, the Supreme Court, you know, with this tariff, you know, the tariff power. I think one of the arguments that his lawyers made was that for national security interest and, you know, emergency powers, and president needs the flexibility to advance his economic agenda or her economic agenda. If you then come out and say, like, psychologically I need it, or because I feel some kind of way about not getting some award for peace, that would undermine that argument. I don't know if the Supreme Court would take that into account. Like, are they going to pretend that he didn't say those things? Like,
yeah, you can't say I'm going to impose tariffs of 15 to 25% on France and Great Britain because they stand opposed to me getting Greenland, and then have also said I need Greenland because of my personal aggrandizement,
right? And
then also claim national security reasons,
right?
Like, you can, I guess, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but like, he just says it so plainly. And I'm sure I've said it before. I grow so tired of people building all of this scaffolding of rationality from the nonsense that Trump is saying, which largely can be dismissed as the ramblings of a madman.
Right.
And you said that you don't want to psychoanalyze him. I think it's self-evident that he's in, like, sundowning, worried about his legacy mode, right? Like, he is grappling with his mortality publicly, right? Like, it is back to, like, he's just plain as day, fully the fully revealed man, right? Like, he says, like, within the last year, he's talked about he's not sure if he's heaven worthy or whatever, right? Like he's thinking about the end here in a way that any 80-year-old man no doubt does, right? Like, it's just the inevitability of the end of his life is approaching. There's reason to believe that he's had a stroke at some point in the last year. I know that is wildly irresponsible, right? But the man had an MRI right? Like initially it was, I had a CAT scan, but then he slipped and was like, no, I had a fucking MRI. They looked at my brain and everything. And like he wasn't supposed to let it slip, I think, but he accidentally let it slip. And he's got the big bruise on his hand, and apparently he's taken a bunch of aspirin, and he wants the thin blood, and he muses openly about the thin blood, and he like shits himself while he's having these oil meetings with the executives from Exxon.
Right.
And like he goes and he stands by. It was funny. I read this whole thing somewhere on Substack. To be clear, irresponsible, not real journalism probably, but like apparently people in the room were complaining about the fact that like it smelled like shit.
Oh, it was like a foul odor. Yeah, like was it coming from him?
And when you watch the video, out of nowhere, he decides to stand up and go stand by the window out away from everybody. And like the implication here is, I think he's standing by the window shitting his pants.
Like our son used to do.
Like our son used to do. Like Calvin, when he was potty training, and towards the end, when it was like he had a weird, willful, not going to shit in the toilet kind of thing going on. And so he would demand a pull-up. And then he would take himself while wearing the pull-up and go stand in his bedroom window and look out into the backyard and then take a dump just right there into the diaper. And so
his whole life, even before he was potty training.
Right, before potty training.
When he was 2, when we would put him for a nap, he would complain right before the nap. Like we'd say, good night, go to sleep. And a few minutes later, he'd be like, I pooped. In your diaper.
And he would have pooped whilst
staring in the window.
Whilst standing in the window, like looking out the backyard from his window. And like that was his move. And then like, so when he's potty training, you give him the diaper and he'd go stand in the window and take a dump and then he'd go take care of the problem. But just like that, like Trump gets up from the seat there and goes and stands and looks out, a complete non sequitur.
Yeah.
Like he interrupted himself to go stand in the window and talk about the East Wing demolition and rebuild, and then went back. So like this is a man. He tells us exactly who he is all of the time. He's not hiding.
But okay, if he is soiling himself in the middle of like a televised like a conference, he has available to him the best technology that's out there. I mean, that limousine, the Beast, it can withstand like a nuclear bomb, right? The Air Force One, it's all souped up, right?
Are you suggesting that there's an adult diaper?
Gotta be an adult. Depends. The Air Force
there
depends.
Clearly is not.
That is like so like sealed, like no odor. You don't have to stand up and pretend there's something interesting outside your window. You can be seated and shit yourself all day.
The thing about a colostomy bag is that you have to have like the humility to go before the doctor and be like, all right, look here, I'm going to need that A++ Navy SEAL grade colostomy bag, right,
yeah.
Doc? Because here's the bottom line is I'm no longer in control of anything down there. And he is not a man of that sort of humility.
Don't they say?
And so he's much more likely to be like, all right, Melania, you're gonna have to go to the Kroger and pick up another set of the Depends.
Is that why she's got this documentary? That was the exchange. Like, I'm gonna do all this for you if you give me some bullshit documentary feature to be released. They say you should never lie to your lawyer or your doctor, right? You don't think Trump abides by that? Like, what the doctor doesn't care. He'll be sworn to secrecy. He's not going to be writing a tell-all book about how he took care of a doddering Donald in his late years, right?
Anyway, the point, though, is that we have this national fixation on examining the psych. And that's the thing. This is what the narcissist ultimately does. And this is why it's silly to question, like, oh, is it appropriate for the psychologists of the world to diagnose narcissism from afar without having examined the patient? And like, is this really appropriate? It's like, no, this man is a narcissist. And the way that you can tell is that all of us are fixated on the goings on inside of his head at all times, right? Like it's not even so much
like Lane Kiffin,
right? It's not so much what he actually is, but what he causes in us, right? Like it is the fact that he is the focus of all of our attention all of the time, and doesn't shy from it, doesn't shrink from it, instead revels in it.
Right.
Like there's an element of the proof is in the pudding in terms of the narcissism question, and like whether or not he is actually a diagnosable narcissist is entirely beside the point.
Yeah.
We are a nation or a political and media class at the very least utterly obsessed with his psychology in a way that I don't think we ever have been as a culture before. I don't know what previous cultural icon you can point to where our primary concern as a culture was decoding their thoughts and plans all of the time, right? Like Michael Jordan was the center of the culture, and there was not
Michael Jackson.
Sure. And to even compare him to other presidents
O.J.
is
Simpson.
ridiculous.
Right.
Like you don't think of Barack Obama, and when you think of Barack Obama, at no point were we collectively obsessed with what he was thinking, with what his psychology was,
Right.
with trying to with 40% of us constantly trying to explain his motivations and his thoughts, and like half of us thinking he's a fucking secret genius playing 4-dimensional chess,
Right.
and the other half of us thinking that he's a barely functioning retard, basically, right? Like there's not
Right. This is a unique scenario, right? I mean, like, you know, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, whomever was never the commander in chief. They never held so much power. And you have a president, and past presidents were always constrained by norms and party opposition. You know, there were all these mechanisms to prevent the worst from happening. Even though, like, you were the commander in chief, you can, you know, say go ahead and do whatever. Like, Trump doesn't have that. Basically, he has, you know, a very compliant party has all the levers of power, at least through this year, right? And he's kind of out of it. You know, all of this, like, oh, he's like a doddering old man.
And whose entire job, and who have taken upon themselves the job of either, oh, I didn't see that, or secretly it was good and here's why.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so their entire thing is to give the intellectual and philosophical, to some degree, framework to the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like the best, it's this constant steel manning of the thing when he's never doing the right thing. Right? Like, and not to say that he's not doing the right thing by my standards. He's not saying the right thing according to your goals.
Yes.
Right? And so instead, as a Republican, you have to go behind him and lay down the railroad track to where he ran off the fucking train, right? Like, you are saying, here is where he was. I don't know. I'm not sure entirely where he's going, but I'm putting the track down behind him to give rationale to the thing that he's done. And in the meantime, the rest of us are doing the opposite, largely, right? Like, and so sort of what I'm getting at is less about, like, there's something condemnatory just in that fact. Right? Like there's something that makes him entirely unfit for the job, because the entire project of the political and media class is now to give legitimacy to him one way or the other. Right? Like even in the tearing down, even in the, well, I think he might be a fascist. And look at him doing these fascisty things. And I think he's actually secretly doing, like, it's like, no. He's John Mulaney had it right. Right? Yeah. He's the horse in a hospital. Yeah. It's fucked. Yeah. He has to get out of the hospital. No matter what. And like everything else that we're doing is providing a reality, and it's thoroughly deranging. And this is why the perfect thing is I swear I came up with it. The trumpeting, and I can't promise that, but I've been saying it for a very long time, and I don't hear other people saying it, and so, but to me, it's like what we have here is a sort of a deranging natural event over which we exercise absolutely no control. Right? Like it is the happening. It is M. Night. There's the trees are fighting back. Like somehow this political system conspired to produce this result, and Like, it's not his fault exactly. Like, he is just the natural product of the conditions of the world around him in a way that very few other people are. And I'm sure that I've said, like, because you're always saying like, oh, it'll be fine because we're going to figure it out. And like we'll pick up the pieces and sort things out and it'll be okay. And I want to agree with that because there don't appear to be very many other candidates not in the political sense, but like in the broader sense of like how many other people could possibly rise and fit that piece of our collective puzzle in a way that he could. Right. And I don't think that there's just not that many characters.
Right.
Like he is just the right combination of personality defects and psychological issues that it's hard to imagine someone else having the wherewithal to like pound themselves into the right shape. Right. Like because the self-consciousness of being able to pound yourself into that shape sort of denies you access to that shape.
Right.
Right. Like we know, we can tell that you're pounding yourself into that shape, JD, when you try to do it. Like we can all see you doing it.
Right. You know, your boy, Scott Adams, who died not too long ago, I was reading that article you shared, and there was a part about like how you can kind of like capture the imagination of people and then you can use that to your benefit. You know, like there are people who are undeserving who make it to the top. They're not following the traditional like merit-based kind of system. Like, this person is incompetent, but they somehow rise above it because they have some sort of appeal to the masses. Like Trump is almost like one of one. I don't think there's anyone else that's like uniquely like he's got the character, like he's charismatic in a weird way. He's been around forever, right? So basically, like whatever, like a scary new name. I don't know who this new person is. Like he's always been there. He's been on television. He's been promoting boxing. He's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's just been around, and he just kind of talks like a crude, average person, like, and so there's some relatability there, and he always has easy answers to everything, and people love easy answers, like, oh, just press a button, and I'll solve it. Kick, 12 million people out of the country, and I'll solve it. Impose tariffs, and I'll solve it. People want to believe that there are easy answers to very complex things, and he's very comfortable with presenting very easy solutions. And even when things blow up in his face or it doesn't work as he wanted, people still have that. They're still kind of rooting for it. Sometimes I'll hear people who are Trump supporters, and despite evidence to the contrary, they'll say, there's a long-term play here. Let's see how this plays out. It's like, are you sure? Like, he's not known for long-term plays. He just does a thing, and then he'll do another thing, and he'll do another thing. So, but he's captured the imagination of enough people, and I don't know if anyone else could replicate that.
And the promise of the occasional long-term play actually working out. Like, for example, he announced today that we have I think he literally said that thing that he said before about not the outline of a plan. What's the quote
Concept
about that?
Concept of a plan.
We
he
have
said
concepts,
something else today.
Concepts of a plan. With regards to healthcare, right? And they came out with something, I think, this week, and it's like literally 4 or 5 bullet points. So, in other words, we're going to solve healthcare with literally we have now 2 years later gotten on paper the concepts of a plan, right? Like that's how far we've come.
Right.
But he said something today about how like we solved the Greenland thing because we have concepts of a framework of a plan. To get us to a future deal regarding Greenland. And so now we're all good. I'm going to drop the tariff threat because we have the concepts of a framework of a plan in place.
But is that plan that doesn't exist involve acquisition of Greenland? Because that's been his thing.
We can't talk about that right now. That will all be figured out in the future. Don't fret. But the point is, like, there will be from the brain geniuses and Trump whisperers like, oh, don't you see? Like
unlike websites of the past.
Right, this all worked because in the end he got the thing that he wanted, and he's going to claim victory. And they will publish silly memes with the United States flag draped over Greenland or something, and it'll be like, look, you dummies, it's important. Like, we have the minerals now, and like we're going to have access to the minerals and to the space, and it's good. Like, it's in our, like, so fuck you. What were you complaining about? It's like, no, it very much matters that he threatened to destabilize the global order in order to get what he wanted. Like you were saying earlier, like, and the metaphor with the college football thing is like, he has destabilized things for no apparent reason. And even if he gets the thing that he wants, and ultimately it is somehow on the grand utilitarian scale and in any knowable way, which is ridiculous, but like it is ultimately it adds up to the benefit of the United States, whatever the concepts of a framework of a plan work out regarding Greenland, and it ends up in the pros column of a pros and cons checklist. If you're going to factor in the fact that he ended NATO in like functionally ended NATO because just by insisting that we need Greenland for our national security, it says Article 5 of NATO is a crock, right? Like all you're doing there is saying, well, NATO's bullshit, and so why bother? And it's like it's very clearly signaling to Putin, no, do what you want, because we're not going to fuck with whatever you do over there anyway, right? So, like, even when he gets the thing that is good, it matters that he did it in the most immoral way possible. And I say that because, like, I don't like to think of myself as a moralist, right? Or as somebody who is concerned about the sort of appearance of things rather than the actual fundamental result of things. But at the same time, like, the fact that he is the moral abomination that he is should fucking matter no matter what the results are. And that sounds sort of Pollyanna-ish, I guess. But, like, I think it is eroding and degrading of something that matters. Like, virtue for the sake of virtue is something that matters to me. And I know that, like, that's probably silly because I don't have anything in particular to rest it upon. I don't have a monotheism backing up my claim or what have you. But, like, virtue is an end is a good end intrinsically, right? Like, being good and telling the truth and working towards good matters. And when you say things like, they didn't give me a Nobel Prize, so I'm not going to be too concerned about peace anymore moving forward, tells me that all you care about is the bauble. All you care about is getting the thing, is getting the recognition, is being like, and you can even say that, like, the reason, like they say about Trump, is that he went to that White House Correspondents Association dinner and Obama dumped on him and everybody laughed, and that's how that was the moment that we got Trump as president. Like, he had flirted with running for president many times in the past and wasn't really going to do it, and then he got the revenge thing stuck up his ass at that event, and all of a sudden it was on. And maybe that's probably it's too cute in terms of an explanation.
It is a bit of a recurring issue with Trump, right? Wasn't the Venezuela attack like somewhat attributed to what's his face kind of dancing in his, like.
Right, and why does he want a Nobel Prize? He wants a Nobel Prize because they gave one to Obama. Right. Yes. Right? And because he knows that in some book 1,000 years from now, or 100 years from now anyway, it's going to say Nobel Prize awarded to Barack Obama, and his name's not going to be on that fucking list, and that pisses him off. Right. And, like, you can say that's stupid of me to try and do mind reading on Trump, but, like, he's just plain as day about the thing that he wants, and he wants the Nobel Prize because he thinks it's awesome and because he thinks it would be important to his legacy. And when you look at that photo of that woman handing him her Nobel Prize on a plaque, like she got it framed down at Michael's or something, it's like, yeah, go with the gold, but put it in the gold frame because that stupid cocksucker really likes gold. And he hasn't looked that happy since he did the shit-eating grin when he was eating the Taco Tuesday bowl or whatever. Right? You remember that tweet where he's like, I love Hispanic, and he's eating the taco bowl from the Trump Tower kitchen? It's that level of just, oh, man. Like, he looks genuinely thrilled to be being handed this woman's Nobel Prize medal. That is the single most shameful image. It is so. It is shameful and humiliating. I would be humiliated.
It is so humiliating. It's so embarrassing. Do you think he's cheesing? He can't possibly think he is due this award, right? So he must think that, look at the power that I have, that I can compel somebody to give up.
He really thinks he's due the award. I sincerely believe that, because
8
why
world wars he stopped.
He had FIFA invent a peace award and then come to the United States and present it with, and he's like, oh, what a tremendous honor. And it's the most humiliating thing I can think of. But how can that read
so embarrassing to just about anyone who kind of takes just an objective look at that, just that look? But he thinks it's the greatest. I just don't understand it. He's like so far removed from.
But that's a narcissist.
Maybe that's what. I just don't understand how you could. You would think, oh, this is a participation trophy. Charges.
No, they made it just for me.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to like not understand that they're just doing this to kind of humor you and placate you.
No one has ever been deserving of this award.
Yeah.
So they didn't make it.
But this is what I like. Why is that? Like, in what world do we live in where that's not an abject humiliation for everyone? Like it ought to be like, and it makes me insane because like I don't think of myself as this like grand moralizing asshole. Right. Like I want to be more cynical than that instinct is in me, right? But like somehow, like and it's because it's a broader question. It is all through the culture, and we're going to get into cast iron balls here in a moment. But like Fernando Mendoza, to me, is like he's creeping into that. Like there's an amount of performativity that drives that rubs me precisely the wrong way, but like is rewarded in the culture over and over again. There are people who think that like Trump is awesome because Trump is he's asserting his power, and therefore Trump good, right? Like not like. Essentially, it's you got to hand it to him, right? Like, say what you will, he's an asshole, and I wouldn't behave that way. But I mean, look at him. Right. The proof is in the pudding. It speaks for itself. He's the president of the United States of America. Something's fucking working, right? And we're all talking about him and thinking about him all the time. And instead of the response to that being that's a fucking shame, we should be ashamed of ourselves. The response is, no, you got to hand it to him. He's just playing by the rule. Don't hate the player, hate the game. He's playing by the rules of the fucking game.
That would suggest that people want to behave this way, but they can't get away with it, and they kind of enjoy that he does. Like
they want the freedom to not experience that humiliation that I'm talking about. Right? They want the freedom from any sort of self-regard or self-awareness. The only restraint on him is his own morality, right?
Yeah,
like
the
only restraint on him is the limits of his own imagination.
Right.
And he does not have an imagination that permits for him to be wrong or embarrassed. And it's like, I don't know.
That's quite the experience. Just living he's going to turn 80 in June. 80 years of living like that. And he succeeded, because he's the president, he's a billionaire, and he's not getting any flack from his side of things. So it's like...
Right, and here I am, like, my whole life, I'm like, no, losing is good, right? Like, there's the whole ethic of, like, and I know as a non-practicing, as an somebody who's, if you have to pin me down anywhere on the religion scale, the thing that I'm most comfortable being, having read and studied the Bible, is an anti-theist. Not an atheist, not an agnostic, but get a load of this asshole that you guys insist is the great creature worth worshiping, right? Like, look at what he says about himself in his own fucking autobiography. But this is your standards, by the way, right? Like, according to the rules that you have set out here. Like, look upon his works and despair, you morons. Like, have you not seen what this asshole is capable of doing? And like, despite all of that, the underlying ethic is still something that I internalized. It's still something that matters to me, even though I don't believe any of the rest of it, which is like the message of Christ, the idea of unaccountable, unimaginable power that defers itself, that seeks to serve rather than to dominate. Like, that's the whole Christian thing, right? In theory. Why do I have to be the one that cares about that? This is supposed to be the thing that you care about. there's 3 more years of this, assuming he doesn't just fucking die. And it makes me feel bad to acknowledge it, but like, how would it not be better if he would just die and not be killed? I wish no violence upon him, but like the easiest escape route at this, because he's going to lose the House. There will be
that lame duck period, by the way, is going to be interesting if that happens. Like between November, that second Tuesday in November, and January when people take office.
Especially if we have a retirement in the Supreme Court, which is not out of the question here. Alito and Thomas are both quite old,
right?
Like if we have, like, the Democrats aren't going to allow,
right? I think that's now the new standard, right? So like if they're able to withhold a nomination, even if it's like for 4 years, like they'll do it because like the standard has been set, the precedent rather.
And the thing that's the lame duck period that is most concerning, I think, is the next 8 months. It's not the next 2 years after the elections. Right. It's what remains of his power now. And it's severely limited. There was a Republican congressman who died just last week or 2 weeks ago or something, right? Like over the break.
That's right, yeah.
And so they're down another one. The margin is quite slim. And so in order to do anything, they have to have basically everybody on board. And that includes the Thomas Masseys of the world, who are neither willing nor particularly not willing to jump on everything, and also not particularly scared of Donald Trump at this point.
Right,
either.
And also, like, what are the big ticket items left? Infrastructure has been done.
Just keeping the fucking government open is really the only thing, right? Like,
but
if they can just keep it open.
But you would want some sort of big piece of legislation. I mean, the tax cuts is done. Infrastructure has already been done. CHIPS and Science Act has been done. So there isn't a big pressing bill. So yeah, just keeping the government running is, I guess, the only thing you can achieve this year. And maybe like put the Clintons in jail, whatever's coming out of the House. Like, there really isn't much else.
The point is they're going to impeach him like 47 times, right? Like it will just be new, and it will all be valid, right? Like there are a dozen reasons to impeach him based on this first year, all of which are better than the Ukraine call. Right. Like legitimately, all of them are. None of them are as good as the January 6th thing, which was obvious and should have succeeded. But like none of them are as sort of up in the air as can he dangle aid for a quid pro quo type of thing, which is sort of questionable at the very least. Right. Like the emolument stuff, the self-enrichment stuff, the crypto stuff, and that's before you get into the I'm going to get Greenland because of my psychology and the use of the United States military with no regard in Venezuela and whatever else is going on. So I mean it would just be better if he died.
You don't want him to die. Like you would rather.
No, you do.
I want him to die of natural causes. Like it will obviously be better for the whole country.
My client today is a former congressman. He's, I don't know, in his 70s, some late 70s, old style Southern Democrat, very proper, close personal friends with Mark Warner still.
Oh well.
I've been cutting his hair for a decade now. And
we got a former congressman in your chair?
Yeah, he's the one who gave me the card that said, "Thank you for your friendship." And I said, "Yeah, we're friends."
This fucker still has hair basically. In his 70s? Boy, look at this asshole.
He's got good hair. He said today 2 things. One, he was talking about the speech to the foreign leaders. And he goes, he's just the worst. And just hearing someone in their 70s, former congressman, say he's just the worst was very funny to me. And then also he said, I wish he would just die. And I was like, yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. But like hearing this guy say that, it's like, wow.
Right. The unfortunate death from natural causes at 80 years old
Yeah,
It's like
I want him to have a heart
they can
attack
have
and
their
die.
fucking funeral. Like they can weep and gnash their teeth and beat their breasts and what have you, and they can be disgusted by the displays of liberals celebrating in the streets when he goes, right? Like they'll eat out on that for fucking 15 years, right? They'll talk about how disgusting it was.
That's the problem. He'll be made a martyr. Like,
no, but that's
He won't.
fine. Be
It's
disgusted by the liberals who are laughing about the fact that Trump finally kicked it. I don't want him. That's why I don't want him murdered, right? Like it is. I still maintain it is very much to the good that his head was not exploded on national television a couple of summers ago. But like beyond that, like it would just obviously be to the good for him to go. And like if he gets 25th Amendmented, which I think is good and proper, if J.D. Vance and the cabinet had the stones to do it, it would be a disaster for the country. Right? Like people would lose their fucking minds.
Right.
And so like if there were a God who wasn't awful, he would die in his sleep.
Big ask. I maintain the implausible hope that the fever will break and before he dies. People will make a declaration like we fucked up with this, and then he can eat his hamburgers and die in his late 80s. After
what do you want to say? I was thinking about like what I want to say to him on his deathbed, which is that's weird.
What's your husband do at home all
That's
day?
That's weird of me to think that. But like, what is the one thing that you can say to him? Like, what would be his dying thought if I could incept it into his brain? And I just want it to be that I didn't matter at all, right? Like, I want his dying thought to be nothing I did mattered. And like, that would be what I would whisper in his ear as he lay dying. Would be nothing that you did matter.
Everybody was laughing at you all this time.
Everyone was laughing at you, and no one will even remember having laughed at you. This is what he said today, and it doesn't matter that he's on stage confusing Greenland and Iceland, but here's the clip.
They got to get that war stopped. Because too many people are dying, needlessly dying. Too many souls are being lost. It's the only reason I'm interested in doing it. But in doing it, I'm helping Europe, I'm helping NATO, and I've until the last few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me. I don't know that they'd be there for us. They're not there for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. I mean, our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland's already cost us a lot of money. But that dip is peanuts compared to what it's gone up.
So that's what he said. There was somebody on Twitter, Libby Dean, who says during his World Economic Forum remarks, President Trump appeared to mix up Greenland and Iceland around 3 times. I think it's actually like 4 times.
Around 3?
But Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, quote tweets that and says, "No, he didn't, Libby. His written remarks referred to Greenland as a, quote, piece of ice because that's what it is. You're the only one mixing anything up here." And I know that the press secretary is meant to effectively tell lies for the president, right? Like that's the sort of nature of the job is to spin. Coming on the heels of the Renee Good shooting the week before, where J.D. Vance and what's her name, Ice Barbie,
Kristi
Noem are talking about how this is a domestic terrorist who tried to murder ICE officers on the streets, and like just the insistence on this lie. Like why are you insisting on saying he didn't mix up Greenland and Iceland? Like he did it. You can watch the clip. There's not any plausible reading of his remarks where what he's saying there is that it's a ice-land.
You know, the low character move that the press secretary did there was like she referred to the written remarks. right? It's like nowhere in the written remarks did it was in Iceland. It's like we're talking about his actual remarks. Like he went off script and he said Iceland a bunch of times. But I think he kind of had it up for a second. I think she said the written remark, which is not what they're talking about, right? So she's trying to do some sort of bullshit switcheroo.
Right, which is not plausible.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure the written remarks refer to Greenland, like he did not say that though.
Why the insistence on that particular lie is the thing that's most interesting to me. Like what is it's along the lines of the Sean Spicer first week, like biggest crowd ever.
Oh my God.
Thing.
Simpler times.
It just seems to be like to be in good graces to the president because, they have to interact with him. So they have to like you are showing your loyalty by lying on my behalf. And so they'll say whatever needs to be said so that they're, that he didn't kick them out. So they'll just say, oh, yeah, he said the right things. You're wrong. And then that gets spun into, I don't know, this information silo environment we're in now, like they'll spin this as like, oh, the media is being, they overstepped and they were wrong again. Like I'm sure it'll be played that way to friendly audiences. And so maybe it's for them
right,
also.
because it is in fact the case that at some point in his written remarks, he does say like it's just in a land of ice or whatever.
Right.
Like there's nothing there. It's just a lot of ice.
Yeah.
But like clearly in his brain, he's done the thing where he's accidentally saying Iceland instead of Greenland.
Right.
Like he's made the confusion, and it's because they for 3 years talked about how Joe Biden was losing his marbles for very similar slip-ups, right? Like they cannot abide the appearance of that sort of a slip-up actually happening.
Right. Do you find it concerning? People have talked about how he's aging. Many different factors go into aging, but like one of them is that he shares now personal text, from other countries. So I guess all those people now know not to say anything that they don't want out there. Like,
yeah, apparently the president is going to screenshot your text messages if you're a fellow head of state out there in the world and just put it out on Truth Social.
Right. There was I think at the diaper incident that you referred to before, I guess he got up, Rubio was trying to like, hey, let's get some questions for this exact, this CEO. He passes a note to him that he's supposed to read and then like,
Right. It's a secret. He passed him a secret note in class, and Trump just read it out loud. He's like, "Oh, Marco's handing me something here," and he just reads it out loud, even though it was supposed to be a private exchange.
And I think it was like go to the Chevron, either CEO or move the questions that way, and he just blurts it out. So I don't know if this is a sign of aging or just he doesn't care anymore. He'll just blurt out what he says. There was also some talk about like,
but that's a sign of aging. My grandfather. Like, he was 99 when he died, and his favorite thing to say was, "What are they going to do to me?" Like, it was he would just go, he said to a rabbi, like, "Oh, no, there's no God. That's ridiculous." It's like, my mom was like, "You can't just say that to a rabbi." And my grandfather said, "What are they going to do to me?"
That's a good point.
Like, like, really?
Yeah.
He's 95. What are they going to do to him?
I don't know that he is in control of his faculties to be able to think at that level. Like he's just, I think that Rubio moment was in fact revelatory of a diminished sort of processing power in a way that
woman, man, camera
ought be concerning, as is something as silly as confusing Greenland and Iceland. Like it's not a huge deal, but like, is it something that a 55-year-old would do?
Yeah, that's
almost
true.
Certainly not.
Well, and it's the not catching himself. Like Iceland, no, not Iceland, Greenland. Like It's a normal thing to mix up.
Yeah.
But the rest of us would acknowledge that we messed it up and not be unaware.
If nothing else, let this be the last time we get an 80-year-old. This back to back. Like, let's get back to the 40s and 50s and 60s even.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, let's move along here. Cast iron balls. We watched plenty of football over the weekend. Before we get into the national title game, let's talk about the NFL playoffs. The conference finals are set. We have the Seahawks and the Rams on the NFC side of things, and the Broncos and the Patriots on the AFC side of things. The one thing that is uniting all four of these teams, really with the exception of the Rams, I would say, is somewhere between mediocre to subpar quarterback play.
You know, there were a couple of good games over the weekend. The Seahawks game was not good, but the Broncos-Bills, very good, overtime. Bears-Rams, good, overtime. I mean, that Caleb Williams throw, I don't know if you caught that, but like he just runs around like this is not going to work, and he just chucks it up, and somehow the guy's like wide open. And you're thinking, holy shit.
I couldn't believe
it's
it. Like that Bears-Rams game was good. Not great. Right. The Broncos-Bills game I thought was a great deal of fun. Disappointed with the outcome. Caleb Williams making that play at the end and then following it up with the interception in overtime. It's like that's the whole ball of wax there, Bears fans. Like, congratulations. That's what you're going to be dealing with for the next 10 years because he's going to be good enough to stick in this league and to be a franchise quarterback, because there's no way that it has, like, it's rare that Collinsworth does the thing, and I think that is justified. But like, he got chased back like fucking 30 yards.
He was running away.
And
he's just running away, and it's like, oh, this is fucked. Like, they're gonna lose now, and he just flings it like seemingly like with no hope, and because the way that the camera is set up for NFL games, you don't see the whole field, right? You never get to actually see what the quarterback can see.
They zoom into the ball.
They zoom in too far.
Do.
This is a take that I've had this year more than ever before, I think, because I think
it's gotten worse.
I want to see more of the field. And the assumption now has to be that, like, everybody's got these big fuck-off TVs. Like, the vast majority...
That doesn't make me see more of the field.
What do you think the average size of the television is that people are watching these games on? And if it's below 55 inches, I would be surprised.
What's this?
It's probably between 55 and 65 is probably the average, right?
Right? Like, we're not talking about everybody sitting around on a 27-inch square rectangle, like the old days. Like, everybody's got, and we're all watching it in HD in some form or fashion. Like, it looks fucking great. Pull back. Maybe I don't need the whole 22 thing, but like, pull back a little bit, because I'm not zoomed in so much that I can actually see. Yeah.
You can't see the play develop.
I can't see their players. Right. Like, it's not like I can see faces. Like, until you show me the replay of, like, the zoomed in shot of Aaron Rodgers' eyes as he goes through his progressions, like, whatever he's doing there, I'm not getting any better picture of based on this camera angle. Right. So pull it back out a little bit and let me see the whole play develop. I think it would be to the advantage of...
But it's a problem...
You know, now there's the channel you can do that on.
And also, it's kind of a problem, especially in situations like the one with Williams, where he's moving away. So, like, now you have to cover a wider ground. You know, like, you have the receivers going one way, he's going the other way.
Okay. You know who could do that? A fucking robot. Like, let the AI run the cameras if the humans can't do it right.
All those job losses.
Because a robot could get it right.
Anyway, the point is, like, follow the ball works in basketball sometimes, but also, like, I don't want to follow the ball in football.
I want to
see what's going on. And you can't even say that follow the ball works in basketball. I want to see the whole court so that I can see where everybody else is, so I can watch plays as they develop. Right. And the same goes for football, I think. And now, like, with all of these televisions and all of the high definition, like, I think you could zoom out some.
But we could watch the Skycam version.
You know, like, sometimes
the experience.
If it's like a big event, like, I think I watched the regular broadcast, but the national title game, I heard that they had, you know, if you went to like ESPN3 or whatever, you can watch the all 22, you know, thing where you can see everything at all times. But I don't know if you want to watch that the whole 4 quarters.
Why is it
I think
called...
I would like it, like, I think I need a second TV. Yeah. Like, I think we might do that in the future.
I have good news for you, Bob.
Yeah. Like, second TV, all 22.
We have that.
Yeah.
Or why do they call it all 22?
All 22
all
players.
22 players.
11-11.
Players.
Yeah. And even, like, Skycam, like, basically dynamic cam, like, Madden quarterback view is preferable.
Right. But we should, next time we watch football, let's put the second TV up there and have the same game on 2 TVs. I'm for it.
Sure.
We could get a third one for the better the on the field commentary.
Like the Pat
We could get
McAfee
another
coverage,
TV.
where it just
No, we don't need the Pat McAfee situation.
No, not him.
Anyway, Caleb Williams is a bum with that.
okay. You have to take into consideration the fact that he plays for the Chicago Bears. They don't have a lot of success. They have now a coach who seems to be decent. They have a quarterback who at least is going to keep them in games. You know, he may lose it at the end, but like they seem to have found a quarterback that's good enough. Like he's not, the greatest thing. He'll fuck up, I'm sure, but he's young. What is his second year? Like,
Yep.
they'll be fine. I think it's promising. It sucks that they lost, but it was promising a season for them because they were the 2 seed also.
Yeah.
But no, that was a great game. Good to see Stafford win.
And the Patriots Texans, like, there's all this talk about how Drake May should be the MVP, and I think it's crazy. I think it's obvious that it should be Stafford.
It's remarkable how poorly that C.J. Stroud played. Like for the Texans,
Drake May wasn't much better.
He wasn't much better, but he was better.
I know that, I mean, it's hard to say that he wasn't much better when C.J. Stroud threw
I don't know
6
how many
interceptions.
And
or
he did that in
something.
the first game too. Like he survived because the defense carried him. But like, holy shit! But
Yeah, it was a
you're
disaster.
right. Drake May did not have a great outing. Everything's breaking their way. They go up against C.J. Stroud, and now you have Bo Nix, who you love, I'm sure, Bob, who's out for the rest of the year. And now they have
Bo Nix is out and replaced by yet another
How
Auburn
do they have
product.
2 Auburn QBs on their roster? That's remarkable.
Jared Stidham.
Yeah. Stidham is still making NFL money. Look at him.
Shocking to me that he is the backup of an NFL franchise still at this point.
Yeah, it's from.
I was legitimately shocked. I was like, is that Stidham's younger cousin or brother or something? That can't. There must have been some Stidham that went to West Virginia with whom I am unfamiliar. This cannot possibly be the Stidham of Auburn
Starting
of a decade ago.
AFC title game at home. That's a remarkable trivia game question in the future.
The Bills have fired Sean McDermott as a result of losing this game. I think if you're a defensive-minded coach, and that's like supposed to be your bread and butter, and you keep losing games because your defense sucks in the playoffs, that's probably about time, right? Even if you're good and you keep making the playoffs, like, it might be time to change things up and go in another direction.
Right. I'm surprised they didn't get rid of the GM who drafted a lot of players.
That's ridiculous.
Right? But, Josh Allen, big fan. I don't mean to shit on him. He had an awful game. He was running the ball with the ball in a reckless way. Like the ball is just kind of out there. He turned the ball over. I don't know how many times, like at least 3 or 4 times. He contributed to the team not winning. Like he wasn't the reason why they didn't win, but like he had a careless game, and he's just kind of crying, and they're coddling this guy like, "Oh, tough shit, you'll come back." But like, you have to do better than that. I mean, you have no Patrick Mahomes, you have no Lamar, you have no Joe Burrow. All you got to do is beat Bo Nix. You can't beat Bo Nix.
Quarterbacks don't play each other.
Yes, I get that, but they had this game. They could have won it if he just made not the mistake. And I don't mean like throwing a pick in tight coverage when the situation called for aggressive action. I'm just talking about turning the ball over in just careless ways. He just kept on doing that, and it hurt the team.
Yeah. No, but still, like ultimately 2 good games out of 4.
Yeah.
One game that I didn't even really bother watching, which is the Seahawks 49ers, because
that game
it didn't take long.
Literally ended as soon as it started. A very low character move by the kicker who tried to trip the returner. Like the game starts and the kickoff, everybody's happy. The guy for Seattle runs it back, and the only player left is the kicker. And instead of like attempting a tackle, he tries to trip him, and he fails at that too. Just.
I don't know if that's. I mean, it's a penalty. Obviously, it's not as low character as being like a coach on the sideline and sticking your foot out as the guy goes running past.
Yes, okay, I stand corrected, but it's still a low character move.
Yeah,
try to tackle the guy, be like Pat McAfee. But this is, I don't even know why they're having this Broncos Patriots game. The Patriots are gonna be a shoo-in. Stidham has no chance. He's gonna be in the Super Bowl, and then the Seahawks will come out of the other side. And the Seahawks will.
You think so? You don't think the Rams stand a chance here going to Seattle?
It's interesting. They split the season, and there were very close games. It should be a fun game. That's the nightcap. I think it's the second game on Sunday. But yeah, I think remember the Pope thing that I said? The Pope thing is still in play, and especially now with Chicago out of the way. This is Seattle's to win.
You know what's not? What time is that game on Sunday?
6:30. I think it's Super Bowl time.
That's good.
Yeah.
Super Bowl time. It's we won't have school on Monday. I'm not going to work early on Monday.
Oh, you're not going to work at all on Monday.
I might have to.
There's going to be like 14 inches of snow.
Is it just a weekend thing, or you guys have forecast
Is
snow for
UPS
Monday?
going to deliver?
I doubt it. I don't know.
Because that's what determines it. I have shit to do there. I'll probably have to go in.
In any event, Sunday night should be fun. Obviously, I'm going to watch the AFC title game, but Broncos, Patriots, gross.
A lot of West, AFC West, 2 NFC West teams.
A lot of West.
Just a lot of West.
All right, national title game. Indiana prevails.
Did not win by 1,000. I was wrong with that. They didn't even cover.
Not 1,000.
Did not even cover. And bad news, or news anyway, I have all but officially failed in my subsistence betting life. I am down to $1 and change in my FanDuel account after many years, however long it's been since Virginia opened up their gambling to make it legal.
You should ask your dad for money for your birthday.
Wait a minute, Bob. I am 4 games above 500. You've been riding my coattails. How are you in dire straits?
First of all, many of those wins are like $5 bets to return 90
But you get that $5 back also. How dare you?
Yeah. So it's not like I was riding your coattails anywhere.
How ungrateful. Look, I had a very successful live bet season.
Anyway, I put my last $20 on Miami and the over, and like a Miami win with the over. And it was going to be $20 to win me like 140 or something, I think, because there was some sort of bonus. Like I got a profit boost or something on my thing there, and I got within a couple of plays of maintaining my situation. But
what was the line? 48.5?
Something like that.
So you were like a half off.
If Miami scores at the end there, then I win all sorts of money. No, because it wasn't Miami to cover; it was Miami to win outright.
Okay.
It was a Miami win with the over.
Okay.
And so,
gotcha.
In other words, I got to the last, just like Carson Beck.
Yeah.
I got to the last drive of the game with an opportunity to win it all, and failed.
When Indiana was not able to bleed the clock out or score a touchdown, did you think, oh, this is Carson Beck time, or do you think he's going to fuck it up somehow, throw a pick? Like, what were your...
So I've been annoyed by reading and hearing Georgia people take a small amount of glee in Carson Beck's failure here.
Oh, yeah. Simon said something similar. He was like, he just took...
Who did?
A friend.
One of his podcasting buddies.
Oh.
And a Georgia, like a wonderful Georgia fan, it must be said, Simon is. I don't understand the hate for Carson Beck, because it just wasn't a good fit.
It was a mutual parting.
And I don't know that there was anything like, I think it is true that we probably beat Notre Dame if Carson Beck is not injured in the Texas game, the SEC championship game 2 years ago. And I also think it's true that we don't necessarily win the SEC championship if he's not hurt in that game, right? Like, I think both of those things are true. And further, I don't think Kirby wanted Carson to come back after that year. And I don't think it's because he doesn't think Carson is a great player. I don't think it's for anything except that
they committed to Gunner, didn't they? Like
and Carson said he was going to the NFL.
Yeah, so they had to make plans, and he changed his mind. Yeah.
Financial plans, NIL going somewhere else plans.
Like I'm sort of bummed at the way that all ended, but I'm not mad at Carson.
I can't imagine being mad about it.
And I don't know how you could have watched that guy for 2 years, and with the exception of like a 3-game stretch in his second year, been anything but thrilled with him.
The only
argument,
he was
which
so
we won
much
2.
better than Stetson Bennett. And I know that we are. This is a house where that is irreligious to say.
It sure is.
CJ Daniels was better than him too, but like Stetson is the best.
No one's better than Stetson
Right, I'm not
Bennett.
arguing that with the fucking rings, right, or with the trophies, but like the fact of the matter is, from a game to game, drive to drive basis, Carson Beck I trusted far more out there than I ever did Stetson Bennett. And yeah, I don't understand.
I don't either.
The animosity towards Carson Beck, and like, yeah, he's a sort of a funny looking dude, and the Lamborghini stuff was annoying, but like, they're all doing that. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be too mad about that.
Well,
and
it's like, if you
rooting
don't
hard
like
for
him so much, wouldn't you like him to not be your quarterback? But fuck that guy. Okay.
One argument I read online, which is kind of stupid, but like after he got hurt in the SEC title game, like he didn't stick around to lend his support to the team and to Gunner. Like, what support is he going to lend? He's recovering already. You know, his draft stock has plummeted. I'm sure he was going through whatever, right? So it's like, that's a big ask to ask somebody to like what, just hold the clipboard or just to lend moral support to the starting quarterback
After doing that exact thing for 3 years.
I don't know. The arguments sort of kind of fall apart immediately. I mean,
if we're not unjustly kept out of the college football playoff after
losing to Alabama,
after the undefeated regular season and then losing to Alabama in the conference title game, then it's a whole different conversation, right? Like, he probably wins a national title that year, after losing in the SEC championship. Like, not probably, but like, it's certainly in the cards.
Yeah.
And the capriciousness of the fan base's appreciation for someone who had 2 awesome years for Georgia, and then in the process of trying to get us back to another national title, grievously injured his arm and like might not ever be the same. And then to be mad at that dude, like I don't understand it.
Is Carson Beck a Georgia guy? You think he'll be remembered as that, or just like a mercenary, like just because he had a 1-year stint?
I think it'll be complicated.
Like Jalen Hurts.
I'll remember him as a Georgia guy.
Yeah.
I don't think of him as mercenary. He was here for his entire career, and then took a 6th year at Miami. Like, what are we talking about?
Jalen Hurts.
I don't think he thinks of himself as a Georgia guy, though.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because he said like he didn't count those 2 rings because he didn't. I don't know. Some of his answers, I could see why some people are rubbed the wrong way, but like.
But
that's the drive of an athlete who wants to win, right? Like, I think that ultimately, like, of course, he's going to 40 years from now be like, he's not going to hawk them for fucking gambling cash or something, right? Like, the rings will be in his dresser drawer, and obviously it would mean more to him if he had been the starting quarterback for that team, right? Or if he had been a more important contributor to that team. You want that out of your starting quarterback, right? Like, you want that level of drive and competition or competitive drive out of that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. I will say, like, I thought he was pretty good. Obviously, that last throw is not great. He underthrows it, and it gets picked, and that's a fucking bummer. And it was a pretty good title game. Indiana.
Second half was good.
Second half was great. Indiana did not look very good, and it was depressing because it's like, oh, they are beatable, right? And like, that's where it was if there was a bummer aspect of it to me as a Georgia fan, it's like, oh, I think Georgia could have beaten this team.
I don't.
If they had played as they did against Miami, I think that they could have been beaten. Mendoza was not particularly good throughout the game, with some notable exceptions. And I will say, I don't like Fernando Mendoza. However, he throws maybe the best back shoulder throw I've ever seen.
This is also a house where you only can say that about Aaron Murray. He throws the second best back shoulder throw you've ever seen.
Well, and Stetson could do it too. Although Stetson's throws were more likely to be the Eli Manning drop in a bucket kind of throws than they were to be the perfectly executed timing route that Mendoza pulled off. 2 of them stand out. It might have been 3 times in this game where, and it helps to have a receiver who knows exactly what he's doing and can effectuate the timing precisely correctly. But that, I think it was number 80 for them, just was it was like they were psychically connected, right? Like Mendoza put it in the exact right spot or within 18 inches of the exact right spot at the exact right time. And it's impossible to defend. It's if you can get the timing down right, the back shoulder timing throw is just impossible to defend if you're a cornerback. And the only hope is that there's a safety who's just cheating really hard. Right? Like that's the only possible hope is that the safety is guessing as hard as.
But that could also blow up in your face because like if you are cheating too much one way, then they can use that against you in a future play, right? Like kind of give the same look and then.
But it's effectively an indefensible thing to deal with as a defense, and like that's almost if he can do that. And do the bullshit Tom Brady 7-yard slant thing that he seems to be pretty good at. Like he might have an effective. This is the first time watching him where I was like, man, he might actually be an NFL quarterback, and he needs to figure out that like you don't have to pretend because he's one of these. There are NFL quarterbacks who sell the play action or sell the option fairly well. But he just gestures in the direction of it, like, and then there are quarterbacks who pretend, basically, like, oh, I'm pretending that I didn't give him the ball. Everyone knows that
the body language kind of tells that, you're not committed.
When he got that bloody lip, and Cignetti was mad about the fact that should have been a personal foul, and in all likelihood, it should have been targeting, and I'm not one to be like, oh, that's targeting, that's
no, they used my
shameful.
targeting rules. I liked that. My targeting rules is if the targeted player is fine, it's fucking fine. If the targeted player is concussed and out for three, that's it.
No, process, not results is what matters here, obviously. And when he did the, ooh, I still have it, pretending thing, and then got his ass fucking exploded because of it, very clearly should have been a targeting thing. But also, you don't, if you're not good at selling the fake or not fully committed to the bit, don't sell the fake. Because when you're selling the fake, they can hit you. Yeah. And they can make it hurt. And there won't be a flag most of the time unless they hit you in the fucking helmet with their helmet, which there should have been a flag there, to be clear. But, like, he's got to leave that behind.
Yeah.
Don't do that anymore because you will die at the next level. But yeah, like I think that he's potentially. The problem is that he's going to be a Raider.
Yeah, so good luck with that. You know, speaking of the hits, I found it interesting. For any game, especially big games, the broadcast crew will talk to the coaches and the players just to get some insight, so they can kind of work it into the coverage throughout the game. And there was something interesting. I think Herbstreit, somebody said like. The Miami defense was told to like hit Mendoza when they can, which I thought was a weird admission. Like, why would you say that? Because there was one play, and I think it was brought up during a cheap kind of play where a player on Miami's side like almost undercuts him or uppercuts him with his helmet. Like he kind of goes below him, and he hits him like almost in the chin with his helmet. I don't think it was called or anything. And Mendoza just kind of keeps going on. Like he seems to be kind of like this doofus Andrew Luck, poor man's Andrew Luck in that way, where he just like kind of like, oh, whatever, I got hit. He just kind of moves on. But I just thought it was a weird admission to say that you're deliberately trying to hurt a player. Like he didn't say hurt, but like trying to like hit him at every opportunity they can find.
But it worked. Like he didn't look very good.
Right.
Like with the exception of those gotta have it timing throws that they pulled off.
That fourth down.
And that fourth down. Oh boy, that was a great run.
The fourth down touchdown, it was Grunter Stockman-esque, it must be said. Like multiple painful, violent hits. And yeah, it's a great moment that will live forever, no doubt. Miami almost had him fucking bottled up though. Like what are you doing?
But I think he would have gotten the first. I think he would have gone. You think even before the first down conversion, like before he like.
They almost did.
They almost had him, yeah. And, to Cignetti's credit, he rolled the dice when he needed to roll the dice, and it worked out for him. As it turns out, I still don't think that, like, this is that we're worried about the Indiana Death Star here for the next decade. Like, I guess
all
we'll
the
see.
players are going to have to go away.
So
He'll need to find a new batch of 25 and 26-year-olds.
It is impressive that they're able. I mean, just the context of like the turnaround, like being a 3-win team in 2023 to being 16-0 now. Just like taking the whole thing. If you were to isolate one game, you could say, okay, they're not that impressive against, Penn State or against Miami or whatever. But like taking like the big picture, like this is a remarkable turnaround. 16-0 when Sarkisian said a little while ago this new environment makes it almost impossible for a team to go undefeated, and Indiana did it.
We sat here in this room 2 years ago and everyone was complaining about all the players transferring and the talent level evening out. And I sat right here. I said, with the talent level being equal, the thing that's going to matter is coaching. And I'm fucking right.
Spot on, Lori.
I think it's coaching and quarterback and luck. Like, I think it's going to be a combination.
And you can't control luck, so you have to just worry about the things you can control,
Yeah. But it's just so obvious that the thing I said happened.
The good news is Kirby Smart is still one of the best coaches in the sport.
That was the other part of the thought that I had a couple years ago was we can be happy about that because Kirby is wonderful.
Real quick on this, I was thinking, this program sucked forever. Like I said, as recently as 2023, there were 3 wins. So I imagine there's a lot of like fair weather fans that have joined the fold in the last couple of years. So there isn't, like with, not to compare, but like Georgia had like a fan base that was watching the team get close and lose and have down years and like maybe we need to change coach.
We were tortured.
Yeah, forever, and then you win, and now this to me seems like, as far as I wonder from the perspective of Indiana Hoosiers fans, like they weren't even following this sport until like last year. And they won already. So I wonder like how they feel. Like, oh, shit, this is easy. Like, just fucking win.
No, they're lucky and they don't deserve it. And that's fine. The players do. The fans don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't know any because I don't think that they actually exist.
I mean, there are Indiana people who are Indiana football fans. They exist. I mean, they're not a ton, but like, whatever.
You can't name any.
Mark Cuban.
Well, no. Yeah, Mark Cuban.
Celebrities don't count.
All right, I would like to play a couple of clips because I find Fernando Mendoza deeply unappealing.
By the way, I want to just go on the record. I'm totally against your position on this Mendoza. This kid is great, but go ahead. Just earnest.
No.
Yeah, earnest.
Epic moment in this game. It is the fourth quarter. You're leading by just 3 points. And coach decides to go for it on 4th down. What did he say to you in that huddle, and how did you execute it?
That's one thing about our team. We're always going to put all on the line. And, I want to give all the glory and thanks to God there. My offensive lineman blocked perfectly, and we're able to execute the team towards a common goal, have the Indiana Hoosier synergy to score, and then give our team a chance to win the game.
How did you get it in there, though? You had to go airborne, Fernando.
I had to go airborne, and I'll die for my team. Whatever they need me to do, they need me to take, shots from the front and the back, whatever it is, I'm going to die for my team out there, and I know they're going to do the same for me. That's what makes us so close, and that's what makes this national championship so special.
Show my cameraman right there your arm. You can't imagine the beating this young man took last night.
I mean, shout out to Miami defense. You can see why their 2 edges are first-round picks. I mean, it was going to be a physical game, and, we had to play physical, and we did play physical. We elevated it, and it's victory so sweet for everybody, for the entire Hoosier Nation, but also, it's super sweet to myself. I was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. I got declined to walk on offer to the University of Miami. Full circle moment here playing in Miami for all the friends and family. I can't thank Coach Ignetti enough and Coach Whitmer and Coach Anna for taking a chance on me and just give all the glory to God.
You've been a little boy sitting in these stands watching people play on this field. How do you describe walking out of here a national champion after all these years?
There's no words. There's no words. This is the most special moment of my life, and I know my teammates either. There's no one else I'd rather do it with.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
All right. A couple of things there. First, I believe he says that he would take back shots for his team.
Yeah.
I mean, he also
Don't
said
Google-
he
Shots from the front,
he
shots
would
from the
die
back.
for.
Don't Google that, kids.
He would die for his team. Obviously, anything short of that is also on the table, including back shots.
Abe,
First of all, can you take a
you
moment?
You said earnest.
Yes.
And I want you to watch the last 12 seconds or so of this interview and tell me again when he calls up from deep inside the fake fucking tears where he knew going into this that what he wanted to do was cry at the end of this interview, and then watch his face at the end of this interview.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Okay, so
And then he turns around to talk to the fucking Indiana radio people or whatever. He's fake crying.
okay. You know, I watched this live and I just knew like, oh, that Bob is probably has a problem with what I just witnessed. You know, let me just say in defense of Mendoza, like he's swimming upstream when it comes to social settings, right? He seems to be, he practices probably in front of the mirror a lot. He's trying to get this right. He's trying to communicate like people that comes easily to communicating comes
But
easily.
why?
Because he wants to be
You could
good
just
at
say
this.
nothing.
He's just a socially awkward kid, and he's trying to give you like the answer he thinks that this is what the role of the quarterback should say. All right, so like
That isn't what earnestness
No.
is.
He-
Giving people
is
the
a-
answer they think they
Why
want,
do we?
they want
Why
to hear.
do we? And this gets back to what I was saying earlier about Trump. Why do we valorize this sort of attempt at bullshit? Right. This man is bullshitting us, and I think he is bullshitting us earnestly. Right, like I'll give you that.
Right.
He's doing what he thinks is the right thing.
Right.
He is trying to perform the best version of himself, and he wants to be the best boy. He wants good job, Fernando. You did the thing, but why do
Okay,
we,
but
as a culture, demand that of him? Exhibit B, Exhibit B. He's getting the MVP. He's on the stage for the award ceremony.
We did not watch
afterwards.
this. We were in bed.
Such a great group of guys. I love you guys. Great job. Let's fucking go.
I mean, it's right there. Like his cadence, like he is a socially inept person who's trying to overcome those hurdles. He's not trying to bullshit you. He's not like
He said, "Let's fucking go." That was the most calculated. Let's fucking go.
Right.
That came. That's like that was on a fucking whiteboard somewhere. Right. Like he was with his dudes. Like he met with his team to come up with when I win this thing. And I did because you remember at the conference championship game, I said the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go. Right. Like now I can unleash the let's fucking go. And I had this thought. I saw that clip, the let's fucking go clip, before I saw Exhibit C, which is him being asked about the deployment of the curse word.
You dropped a curse word there at the end, something you don't do very often. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I would say overwhelmed by emotion, and it's the pinnacle peak. It's like all season sometimes I've had these cookie cutter responses, immediate trained response where it's been like, oh, on to the next game, on to the next play, and now we did it. So at that point, I think it was only fitting to kind of, open the floodgates, per se. Probably break my stereotype.
He's been around Coach Sig too long. Yeah. That's an X-rated mouth.
No doubt.
At that point, I think it was only fitting to open the floodgates, per se, which, by the way, that's not what per se. Per se is, I don't know what you think per se means, but per se is not this stupid cliche
Did
you're
Mendoza
reaching
shit
for.
on your cereal? Why do you have such a this kid is trying? He's trying.
Oh, he's insufferable.
He said that he chose to say a curse word there on purpose, right? Because he felt like it was the right moment to unleash.
But he also said he was
word.
Overwhelmed with emotion.
Right. But he was not overwhelmed.
But you don't know
with
that.
emotion.
Which is it?
Okay, first of all,
the sales pitch is I was overwhelmed with emotion. He's doing the thing where you're not supposed to read the stage instructions, you stupid shit, right? Like, they're in brackets and italics because no one else is supposed to see the mechanism at work here. But he's too dumb.
He's not too dumb.
And so why are we valorizing this kid who's insisting on acknowledging that he's reading the stage instructions?
So,
is the thing that I don't understand.
If you move to an English-speaking country, they'll put you in English as a second language class, right? You're learning this language.
He's human as a second language.
This is a human.
And I understand why you identify with that.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think you're giving short shrift to that possibility. He doesn't express emotions in the way a person who you're accustomed to expresses emotions, but he is trying. It is not a malice kind of thing. He's trying to be
malice.
He's just
still calculated.
He means well. He's just a kid. He bounced around.
What if I told you that I think that the "Let's fucking go" is so calculated that it's directed at his future boss,
like the Raiders?
Who has all but a trademark on the phrase "Let's fucking go"?
I think a couple of people do. Who?
It's Tom Brady.
Yeah. But
Tom Brady is the LFG guy.
Yes, I guess.
All right,
yeah.
that's
you say so.
Like on NFL Fox, he gives out the LFG Player of the Game or something, right? Like he's the "Let's fucking go" guy in our culture at the moment.
Right.
That's his phrase. He is part of the ownership group of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
This was a commercial for Tom Brady, is how insane Fernando Mendoza
But to me,
is.
I think what's missing in this Mendoza story is that he grew up as a Hurricane fan. He wanted to play for the Hurricanes. He was declined a walk-on opportunity. He bounces around. He ends up in a good spot in Bloomington, bumfuck Indiana. He takes his team to the national championship game. It's played in his hometown, and he beats those fuckers who denied him
Tremendous story, no doubt.
If he was somebody who was well-versed in emotions in the way a normal person would be, he would be killing it in that moment. But he can't. He's struggling, as a second language thing, right? And then here comes Bob shitting on this poor guy, trying to make do with the limited tools he has in his arsenal.
It's fine. I can be the obnoxious asshole shitting on him. The thing that I am not an obnoxious I will take ownership of that. But where I object to being called the obnoxious asshole here is in the valorization of the performativity of it.
Right.
Like that's what there are people who watch him call up those tears, right? Who watch him pretend to be overwhelmed with emotion. Right. And identify it as the good thing. Right. I don't understand.
Let me ask you this. Do you make much of Carson Beck walking away and not doing the hand? People are giving him shit for not being sports.
Absolutely not. There are 110 kids on that fucking football field. Why is it incumbent upon the quarterback to go out there and shake hands, and it's not incumbent upon all the rest of them?
So you're against any sort of performance in any way, right? Like if you're not a handshake person, don't do it just because every other instance, you're supposed to shake hands as a quarterback.
In a hockey game, everybody's supposed to go out there and shake hands at the end of the Stanley Cup. And you say, good game, right? And it's the most painful fucking 2 minutes of your life, probably, if you're a weirdo Finnish hockey player who just wants to win a Stanley Cup.
Right.
But like you're Carson Beck, and you're supposed to go out there and shake hands with this fucking chuckle fuck. Why?
But
you're 27 goddamn years old.
I would agree if that was your policy throughout. I just don't like it when you win, you want to be magnanimous and shake hand, but if you lose, you don't. Like whatever you want to do, just do that.
I don't think Carson throws a touchdown to win this game. He's not seeking out Fernando.
Are you kidding me? He'd be seeking out every handshake because he's happy.
Fernando would seek him out because it's the classy thing to do, and it's a performance. You know what I mean? Like because it's a performance of classiness,
yes,
right?
He's at least
but I don't think that it's not like Carson is running across the field. I got to remember to shake hands with Fernando at the end of this fucking game.
Right? Winning quarterbacks always shake hands because first of all, I mean they're going to be right there. They're not hurrying to leave. You want to soak it in. So, like, if Carson Beck was going to shake hands in a victory, he should also do in defeat. It doesn't matter ultimately.
No. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have shaken hands. I'm saying he would not have sought out the handshake. He's just not I don't think, like, if you want to be the linebacker or the fucking fullback who runs out there and shakes hands with the opponent because you know the guy, these kids all get recruited together and they transfer schools 6 times.
Well, and especially like if you're playing against each other,
Right.
like
Yeah.
the corner and the running back, not the running back, the wide receiver. It's like
fucking
Sure.
Mendozer's not even on Twitter. Like, it's Carson. He doesn't have an Instagram. There's no conceivable way in which these two have crossed paths in the past. I don't think Carson Beck is on LinkedIn the way that Mendoza
he posted. Did you see his post? Not Carson, Mendoza.
Yeah, he updated his profile to show he won.
He posted on LinkedIn. Monday night, my teammates and I had the honor of raising the national championship trophy and bringing a CFB title back to Bloomington, Indiana for the first time in history.
Back?
Which, yeah. Yeah. With the guidance of our coaches and the unwavering support of Hoosier Nation, our band of brothers made the unbelievable believable. Here's what winning a national championship taught me about B2B sales.
Oh, shut the fuck up. No way.
Trophy emoji, parentheses, kidding, ... haha.
Hey, look at that.
Kinda.
What a sense
Believe
of
in
humor.
yourself. 4 years ago, I was a 2-star recruit playing high school football 30 minutes from Hard Rock Stadium with the dream of playing at the highest level. 2 days ago, I became a national champion in that same situation, in that same stadium, surrounded by the family who never stopped believing in me. Number 2, take the risk. When it's 4th and 5 at the 12-yard line, go for it. Number 3, remember who got you there. Thank you to my teammates, coaches, support
can't
staff,
wait.
professors, and
I don't care
everyone
anymore.
behind the scenes who helped make this happen.
I can't wait for his future motivational speaker career, and I hope that it starts in like 2.5 seasons. Like, I know that I said earlier, like, oh, maybe he can play. Like, I don't know. Maybe he can. Like, he's obviously got.
It's very good.
He's got that Stetson Bennett fucking fourth quarter. Let's get it
How
done.
dare you?
It's undeniable that he has that fucking switch, right? Like, he's got the crazy thing that some people have, where in the moment it's like, well, everything slows down and everything works for me. Like, and it's like undeniable. Also, he can make that fucking back shoulder throw as well as anybody I've ever seen do it. That doesn't mean that he's like, this is again, not exactly a great collegiate career with the exception of this season.
Heisman, undefeated season, MVP.
Yeah, very, very good season that he had here. I will be surprised if he turns out to be a great pro. But yeah, undeniably will be the number 1 overall pick. Also, if the referees are calling pass interference in this game at all, Miami wins the game, flat out. And I know that they were not calling it both ways, but Indiana was pass interfering just absurdly. Constantly, the whole time, so many holds, so many PIs, and like
you gotta let him play, Bob. You gotta let him play.
They were being tackled before the ball got there, and I don't understand why the game is called so differently in Week 6 than it is in the national title game. Like,
Gotta go to bed. That's why.
I mean, to be fair, like, there's still plenty of offense in this game, I guess, is the response to that. Like, you know, plenty of points
Miami
scored.
had their opportunities. That punt block touchdown thing wasn't good. Like, you know,
Yeah, you can't get blocks punted.
You know, somebody mentioned next year. You know, there's even a longer gap between the semifinals and a national title game. It's like January 25th next year for some reason.
And 27th the year after that, I think.
That is wild.
Like,
But okay, hold on. I haven't looked at this, but I thought about it. January 25th and 20. Okay, so that's a Monday. Are they trying to do the playoff? No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes.
Never mind.
Yeah,
I thought maybe they were trying to do the semifinal or the 2 games round. Like, they could do it this weekend. There's no NFL on Saturday, so that would work.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But that's so late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, stop putting them on fucking weeknights. I get a cold.
I mean, they always will. That they're not going to move it from the Monday
But
night
I
primetime thing.
I get sick.
To that point, though, like, do we think that a Saturday night primetime game wouldn't draw as well as a Monday night primetime game?
Yeah.
Like,
The NFL is on.
But you know, like, if you're
Everyone
watching a
watches
national
the
title
NFL.
game, does it matter if it? I mean, I think Saturday would be better. But I don't know, like, and I think that there was some stupid story about like Trump doing like an executive order to block out that Army Navy weekend. So like, when they try to reshuffle the schedule to try to make it like more seamless, they can't use that second weekend in December to fit in a game.
Right.
So like they'll have to do something else. But yeah, it seems like the next couple of years is going to be awkward waits. Because the quarterfinals will still be New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, right? And then the semifinals will be like a week later, and then almost like 2 weeks of waiting, which is what we do with the Super Bowl. So maybe it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, fun season.
Yeah.
Sad it's over.
It's a bummer. But also, you get a little bit of life back when there's not college football all the time. Not so bad. You've been listening to Cast Iron Brains, a podcast with Bob and Abe. Find the show on Substack, brainiron.substack.com for more from us. The opening and closing themes of the show are composed by Mark Gillig, tetramermusic.com, Tetramer music.com for more from Mark. Abe, did anything else in the world of sport? Wrong question.
Go to the movies.
Abe, did you make it to the theaters?
I did. I went to see 2 movies over the past week.
Oh, wow.
No Other Choice and Is This Thing On? So No Other Choice is a Korean, good Korea, not North Korea, movie. It is a good movie. I very much enjoyed it. I'm surprised it's not like in the Best Picture nomination category. But it covers a lot of the same ground as Parasite. It's not the same movie as Parasite from 6-7 years ago, but basically it's like a criticism of the way the world works now. So like in No Other Choice, this married...
Is it the same? Is it that same director?
Actually, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't think so, because it would be weird to make this movie if he already kind of did a similar thing. But in the movie, it's like in present day time.
Oh, it's by the guy who made Old Boy.
Okay.
Which Spike Lee remade a few years ago.
Oh, really? Okay. So the movie, like I said, very good. A little long, like 2.5 hours. But the gist of it is married man who works at this place, like a single income family. He's feeling all this pressure. Like the wife is like propping him up. Like, wow, you're such a good provider. You're doing all these things. So he has this pressure at home. His kids are doing like extracurricular stuff that cost money. And so he's beholden to this employer, he needs the job. He gets shit canned. He gets fired. And now he is desperate to find work. They need to downsize because they can't afford the mortgage at the house. The wife is, telling him you need to make this right. The kids can't go.
Giving him the old rolling pin.
Yeah. So basically, there's all this pressure. Like, oh my God, it's suffocating, right? And so what he does is he assesses where he ranks. Like he looks at his resume and he compares it to other people who are also looking for the same work, right? And he sees that he's about fourth best. Like any objective hiring manager, he's not going to get the job ahead of these 3, right? And so he is so desperate, he's left with...
I hope nothing terrible happens to the...
he's left with no other choice but to get rid of the people that are ahead of him.
Capitalism will do it.
Right, yeah, so it's one of those kind of things. And so he eventually succeeds in becoming number 1. The rankings get updated. He's the only one left, so he gets the job. But the job is to oversee the robot machines doing the job of so many others. So other people got impacted by this work. He lost his soul in the process. So basically, it's he succeeded, but he failed. He kind of lost his humanity in the process. And basically, the thing is look at the desperate things that people have to do to survive in the world. Blah 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 blah. So.
Well, I hope the movie is better than the fucking moral.
So it's actually played for. It's kind of like a absurd comedy because it's not like a serious movie. It's just kind of like this guy just finds himself. It's almost like hijinks. Like he's trying to kill them and they're being obnoxious because other people are also the people he's competing.
What's with these South Koreans and because the Squid Game is similarly unpleasant.
Yeah, it is weird, right? Because from what I gathered from afar, 3 or 4 companies run the whole country and they have puppet leaders, but it's a weird.
And they're always and their presidents are always being immediately arrested
yes.
after leaving office.
I would not want to. Yeah, it just seems like the work-life balance is in there, and not a lot of fun. But good movie. I also went to go see Is This Thing On? This is the Will Arnett movie where he stumbles into stand-up. Like he and his wife are having like a tough go of things, and they decide, let's just call it. We'll do a separation and we'll get divorced. So the marriage has fallen apart. He's kind of just like stumbling around town, and he wants to get a drink at this bar, but they're doing stand-up night, and he has to pay $15 or put his name down, and he gets in for free. So he puts his name down, and he gets called up, and he does his, got divorced.
And it's surprisingly great.
Yeah, and yeah, so at no point, this movie is not about his stand-up, but, like, I was expecting, like, the build-up to where, like, hey, you fucking suck, because it's, like, in New York, and, a very harsh crowd, but they are eating it up. Like, he takes forever to get to his punchline. He doesn't even have one. He just basically is expressing his existential state, like, I don't know what's happening.
He's doing therapy.
Yeah, so basically it's like he's using it as therapy, but he's getting laughs also. Here's the thing about this movie.
The advertisements for this movie make, like, I can believe that it is both good and also that, like, I want to hate it. Like, my natural reaction is, like, it just feels so, like, there's something very self-congratulatory about it just from the trailers. Like, I don't know what it seems very pleased with itself.
Right. So apparently this is loosely based on a true story. Like some British person did something similar. They get back together. Basically, like through him working out his problems, he kind of...
There's a 0% chance that somebody wandered onto an open mic night and was killing.
Yeah, I think that there was some artistic license in like how successful he was. But here's the thing. I'm watching this movie. This is directed by Bradley Cooper. He has a bit part where he plays this very obnoxious like stoner, like he's in this like open kind of relationship, marriage or whatever. Like, but he's kind of amusing, like Bradley Cooper. I'm watching this movie. Enjoyable. Laura Dern is in this. She's the wife. Everything's going great. About 3/4 of the way in, the Laura Dern character is like, hey, this is an open, haven't like had sex in forever. It was like a dead bedroom situation as the relationship was kind of falling apart. And she's like, oh, this guy's coming. He just called me up out of the blue, and I'm like, oh, this guy's trying. He sees an opportunity. He's trying to strike. So they cut to that scene, and guess who the person playing the role of like I'm gonna try to get laid with this Laura Dern. Like, guess who the actor that comes in? It is
The Rock.
Peyton Manning. I'm sitting there. Peyton Manning.
What?
Plays the role of this weirdo guy.
Are you telling me that Bradley Cooper cucked you with Peyton Manning?
And I felt very uncomfortable because then Laura Dern, she runs off to the bathroom because she's thinking she's going to get lucky.
Abe.
And I'm like, oh, I can't see.
I really don't like Laura Dern.
I can't.
This is funny.
Is it Peyton Manning as... like Peyton Manning on the apps, or is it Peyton Manning actor? I'm just Trent Chucklefuck here.
Yeah, he's like something like they have like some history.
Okay, so it's not like Peyton's character is not Peyton Manning who has a meeting with some New York City executives, and so he's just looking for some strange on the apps or whatever.
Like Laura Dern used to be like a swimmer, like a big time swimmer, and now she wants to get back into like coaching the youth, and like the Olympics are coming up in 2028, and he also is in that world. So he's trying to like talk shop or whatever, but it really has ulterior motives. And he keeps making this face, like I think he's trying to be like sexy or something. It's just very off-putting. Like I know that I have my reservations.
You are absolutely incapable of answering this question. Obviously, was he acting chops? Any good?
He is awful. I mean, like. Okay, so SNL, he did great there, right?
Yeah.
But because the role he's playing is that I'm going to get it on with Laura Dern. Laura Dern is somewhat excited by the prospect of this, which is not believable. Like, come on, this guy is a... So before they get it on, he's thinking, I'm going to have a good night. Let's go to the next bar over, and we'll talk. And obviously, they go to the stand-up place where Will Arnett is doing bits on his wife, but he talks her up. He's like, oh, I miss her, blah, 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 blah. And they get back to... Then I'm like, whew, Peyton Manning is off, and then we never see it from him again. But it was just the weirdest. Like, what am I watching? I've wanted to like get out. Like, I can't watch this. Like, if I was at home, I would stop playing, but it just kept on going.
I can't even. Like, that's a level of cameo stunt casting or whatever that, like, where did you think that Peyton Manning was going to be the answer?
I don't.
In your process? It's bizarre. Is the movie overly impressed with himself? It's a sweet movie. Like no one is taking is none of that. Like, you cheated. Like, no one did anything wrong. They just kind of fell out of love because they misunderstood each other and they kind of talked it out and everything worked out. So, like, it's a good movie. Other than the Peyton Manning 5 minutes, avoid that. But everything else was good. That's amazing. I for $1 million, I would have not gotten to Peyton Manning with 100 guesses. They should have had Eli. You know,
I think I was actually close when I guessed The Rock.
Yeah, that would have been even. Yeah, that would have been also weird. All right, and Will Arnett is as good as everyone says that he is in this movie? Yeah, Will Arnett's good, yeah. Abe, have you got anything else for us tonight? Nope. I guess that's all we've got for you tonight then, and we will talk to you next time. Later. What? He can be. He's got the tools to fully express himself. Mendoza does not. He's not using tools. He is. Right? Are you kidding me?
He's
like
not
that.
particularly charismatic.
You can read it on his face. Like, just like Mendoza doesn't have any of that. None of those muscles are working. He's just like, oh, I got a ball. Right, and that's what I'm saying. If I can see you controlling your Mario or Zelda character from behind, that fucking creeps me out. And I don't care if you're only doing good in the world, right? Like, that's not enough. Just be you, man. Like, it, and I part of it is like, and it's something that I recognize I struggle with, which is I've never doubted. I have none of that sort of identity insecurity. I seek no external validation of my self-conception, right? Like it to my detriment, almost certainly, right? Like and there are times where I know that it would be better if I did, right? Like
I don't know. Everybody likes you so much.
But I think that the controlling the avatar sort of metaphor is the right one, where it's like there's a little Fernando inside Fernando looking out of the eyes of Fernando, right? It's like what's the Guillermo del Toro movie where they get in the mech suits and they do the big fucking fights? Like there's I can't think of the movie. Pacific Rim. Okay. Where there's an element of Fernando Mendoza has climbed inside of the Fernando Mendoza mech and he's controlling him with the levers and the pulleys and stuff. And like, that's always fucking weird to me. And it's not his fault. I'm not saying that, like, obviously maybe if there's a spectrum-y question there, then that's sort of another. Come on. I think that's been answered a long time ago.
But they all are.
Not all, but yeah, a good chunk.
I don't think that there's necessarily. I think it reads as spectrum-y because of the phones, which is a weird combination of factors here.
The most broken generation.
But like, there's an element of.
Abe, I woke up this morning with a cold, and Bob was like, "Hey, how about you take the car to get inspected and walk to work from there?" While I stay home and do the thing I like.
So I can assure you that was the correct, objectively, that was the correct series of events that needed to play out today.
Solutions-oriented you are.
Yes. And I got it done and got all of the other chores done. And that was the right choice.
The proceeding was created with 100% human content.